This speculative and opinion video caused a bit of a stir and some objections, mostly glorifying Trump and that he would bring actually healing to the United States. Considering his supporters, what they commonly forget is that there is no healing in autocracy and definitely not in fascism, unless, of course, you're among the chosen race and gender. In particular, some of the objections addressed the correlations of Trump and DeSantis with the addition of Ramaswamy and their proximity to fascism. I've recorded plenty of times on this in the past, especially how the tenets of fascism are being met in the United States, so rather than rehashing it, I offer you some new material and a short clip to follow. Trump and DeSantis have a standing history of fascist remarks, more recently with DeSantis signing off on a variety of legislation that meets the criteria, and at the very least, Trump met the definition by supporting J6, and that of course is subject to the upcoming trials. For more context, read Yale philosopher Jason Stanley's How Fascism Works, or if you feel like it, go back in time and read Walter Langer's psychological analysis of the man with the schnauzer. Langer achieved a measure of fame in 1943 for his classified 249-page analysis of the schnauzer's character. The resemblance to Trump is uncanny. Side note, Langer was a psychoanalyst for the Office of Strategic Services, so definitely not somebody to sneeze at. Onward to the clip though, and we are going back to the years between 1942 and 1947, when the US Department of Defense, the Department of the Army, and the Office of the Chief Signal Officer were concerned enough to produce informational films created as a rather stark warning. Of the total 22 minutes, I edited a short summary of the clip to remain within the TikTok community guidelines, and I want to be absolutely clear here and emphasize that this is for educational purposes only.
Before he said Masons, you were ready to agree with him.
Well, yes, but he was talking about... What about those other people?
I heard the same words we have heard today. But I was a fool then. I thought Nazis were crazy people, stupid fanatics. But unfortunately, it was not so.
Out of the entire clip, what should stick with you is this. None of this concerns me until they come for me. By then, it's too late though. In turn, the only conclusion is that fascism inevitably concerns all of us. You can find the films, by the way, labeled Don't Be a Sucker at the US National Archives at the website with the red play button. For those who are doing the math, you'll quickly notice that the US's fear of fascism far predates the moral majority of the 1980s, the Seven Mountain Mandate of the 2000s, and more recently Project Blitz and Project 2025. In almost all those newfangled ways, you'll recognize the unmistakable handwriting of fascism. The only change is that they made it more contemporary. Jason Stanley actually labeled the phase that we are currently in as the legal phase of fascism, predating the military phase. And I want to be clear here. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that Thomas Homer Dixon is wrong. I hope that Stanley is wrong. Hell, I hope that Frank Zappa was wrong.
The biggest threat to America today is not communism. It's moving America toward a fascist theocracy. And everything that's happened during the Reagan administration is steering us right down that pipe.
If we do not show up and turn this country absolutely blue in 2023 and 2024, and if we fall off the cliff into the hell of fascism, there will not be any allied forces to come to our rescue. We out-military them all. We have Mexico and Canada who will likely and understandably close their borders to us. And there are too many countries who we have screwed with in the past decades for them to not rejoice in seeing the United States crash and burn. So, full circle here. DeSantis is currently polling horribly, but he cannot be counted out, especially if Trump ends up ineligible to run. If Trump remains eligible, the odds that he might win for a second non-consecutive term can absolutely not be underestimated. This gets to say that in the end, this is up to us. Staving off fascism is up to us. And if we don't take this as seriously as fascism is to be taken, we really have nobody else to blame but ourselves.